In this era of rapid societal and economic change, this video addresses the persistent gender disparities in Hong Kong's workforce, particularly in employment and income. We examine sectoral employment gaps, managerial imbalances, and income differences between genders. Utilizing data from Women and Men in Hong Kong Key Statistics 2023 edition. Our analysis includes the impact of education and age-related factors like marriage on these disparities. The video concludes with practical policy suggestions to bridge these gaps. Now let's take a look at sectoral employment gaps. The first plot shows the average employment by gender. Take a look at industries like manufacturing, construction, and transportation services, where men's employment numbers almost double those of women, while in administration and personal services, women's employment numbers significantly exceed those of men. The reason might include historical gender roles, physical demands, and workplace environment. Now, shifting to the second plot, which shows changes over time. In manufacturing and trade, jobs have decreased with a larger drop for men. In construction, jobs have increased with men having a slight lead. While in public administration, women are getting more jobs than men. These trends correspond to what we got from the previous slide. This chart illustrates the employment distribution across various occupations. We can see that the elementary occupations and service and sales workers show a higher average female employment, whereas managers, craft and related workers, and plant and machine operators depict a male-dominated workforce, which might suggest an imbalanced trend in administration level and highly paid occupations. Next, let's look at the income difference between males and females. In the past 10 years, females still make up a large proportion of low-income groups. In 2022, there were 400,000 females with monthly wages lower than 6,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is 5 times the number of men. The male population with a salary higher than $20,000 has always been larger than the female. In these 2 years, the average median wage for males is 21,600 Hong Kong dollars, while for female, the number is 15,500, with a large gap of up to 6,000. Even in the same job and same occupation, males always earn more than females. The largest gap is $12,000 in elementary occupation, and professionals and craft and related workers are the second largest. Therefore, we can see there is still a huge gap between males and females in wages. Here, let's look at some possible explanations. Education attainment may explain the employment disparity. Over the past 3 decades, we have seen improvements in educational attainment for both males and females. More females achieve diplomas from upper secondary to post-secondary. Although there are equal proportions in higher education, inequality still exists in the lower, such as the primary level. This indicates that some girls have no opportunities to receive fundamental knowledge. What's the consequence of the gap in education? This could be often reflected in income and employment status. As a result of limited access to lower-level education, we can see that a significant proportion of females face the consequence of earning a monthly salary of less than 6,000. Another possible reason for this inequality is age and marriage. When we look at labor force participation rates by age, women's rates drop by 10% after 25, while men's rates even go up. So, where do these women over 25 go? Here is a chart showing the labor force participation rates for married and unmarried women aged 25 to 39 from 2021 to 2023. We can observe that the labor force participation rate of unmarried women is always about 20% higher than that of married women. The main factor contributing to this workplace inequality is the traditional belief that women should stay at home to take care of children. This mindset leads a significant number of women to choose to give up their jobs. To address gender disparities in Hong Kong's workforce, our policy suggestions focus on educational and workplace reforms. Educational reforms should prioritize gender equality and diverse skill development, encouraging varied career goals. Mentorship and career development programs boost women's representation in leadership. Workplace reforms must ensure equality in opportunities and treatment, with transparent hiring, fair wages, and sexual harassment policy. Hong Kong shows a lower proportion of companies with anti-sexual harassment policies compared to global counterparts. Such policies not only protect employees, but also foster an inclusive environment that can contribute to increased participation and retention of women in the workforce. Let's discuss the efficiency of anti-sexual harassment policies. In 2014, Singapore implemented legislation aimed at preventing sexual harassment in the workplace. This graph shows the actual labor force participation rate alongside a predicted rate had the policy not been enacted, using a simulated LSTM model. Post-policy implementation, we observed an uptake in participation rates, suggesting positive policy impact. Given the cultural and economic parallels, such policy measures could potentially yield similar advancements in Hong Kong's pursuit of gender equality in the labor force. Commitment to gender equality is not just ethical, but a socio-economic imperative. A balanced, inclusive workforce is key to sustainable socio-economic development. We hope you enjoyed learning about workplace gender inequality in Hong Kong and are inspired to promote equal opportunities and gender equality for all. Thank you for listening.